Welcome to the wonderful glorification of Srīmad Bhāgavatam. We're studying Canto 1, Chapter 18. Mahārāja Parīkṣit cursed by a Brāhmaṇa boy, verse number 17. Om Ajnanatimrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So welcome. We will continue with verse number 17. But as we mentioned yesterday, this is a continuation of the class from yesterday, which we called progressive litmus test for all of us. Because of time constraints, we couldn't really speak on the progress, but today we'll try to cover as much as we can. After reciting this verse, we'll go through the important points of last few verses, where the important verses are only hearing, chanting, remembering, so the main aspects of our devotional service. So let's see what does Bhagavatam tell us. Verse number 17. Tannaha param punyam asamvrtartham akhyanamathyadbhuta yoganishtam आख्याह्यनन्ता चरितोपपन्नं परीक्षितं भागवताभिरामम् तन्नः परं पुण्यम् असंवृतार्थम् आख्यानमत्याद्भुतयोगनिष्ठम् आख्याह्यनन्ता चरितोपपन्नं परीक्षितं भागवताभिरामम्. Synonym, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tat, therefore, naha, unto us, param, supreme, punyam, purifying, asamvrata artham, as it is, Bhagavad Gita as it is, akyanam, narration, ati, very, adbhuta, wonderful, yoganishtam, compact in bhakti yoga, akhyahi, describe, ananta, the unlimited, acharita, activities, upapannam, full of, Parīkṣitam, spoken to Mahārāja Parīkṣit, Bhagavata, of the pure devotees, Abhiramam, particularly very dear. Translation, thus please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Mahārāja Parīkṣit, and they are very dear to the pure devotees, being full of bhakti yoga. Here, unlimited, the U is capital, so it refers to Lord Shri Krishna. Thus, please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Mahārāja Parīkṣit, and they are very dear to the pure devotees, being full of bhakti yoga. Purport. What was spoken to Mahārāja Parīkṣit and what is very dear to the pure devotees is Srīmad Bhāgavatam. Srīmad Bhāgavatam is mainly full of the narrations of the activities of the Supreme Unlimited, and therefore it is the science of Bhakti Yoga, or the devotional service of the Lord. Thus it is para, or supreme, because although it is enriched with all knowledge in religion, it is specifically enriched with the devotional service of the Lord. Very beautiful sentence, very, very beautiful. Although it is enriched with all knowledge in religion. So this Bhagavatam is enriched with all knowledge in religion, but Prabhupada says it is specifically enriched with the devotional service of the Lord. So just imagine how beautiful and how enriching is this wonderful devotional service. So we see, right from verse 9 up to, this verse, we are hearing about just, how to hear, how to develop the taste of hearing the narrations of the Lord. In the ninth text, already Sutta Goswami says, you asked a question about Parīkṣit Mahārāja. I've already told you almost everything regarding the connection of Lord Krishna and Mahārāja Parīkṣit. But then the sages are still saying, okay, you know, you are already connected with the activities of Lord Krishna, and please, please speak more and more and more. This fire sacrifice of 1,000 years is doing no good to us. So they continue saying that, yes, we want to hear more and more and more about Krishna and his devotees. And, we are not satiated by even hearing as much as we want. Um, and we see in the first canto, Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. And again, Bhagavatam is for both types of people. Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. That means for expert and thoughtful men. So someone who's a Rasika, someone who wants to derive the nectar of all the juices from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is for them also. And someone who's a thoughtful person, someone who's intelligent, someone scholar, someone who's intellectual, for them Bhagavatam is providing all the resources also. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, the first 4 verses, Krishna describes that this is a science. Bhakti yoga is a science. And Krishna says, to Arjun, this is supreme science, ancient science, imperishable science. So many adjectives Krishna uses, but ultimately Krishna says this is not something whimsical. This is very scientific, and we will see how scientific this is. Yesterday we saw the 3 types of devotees. We have to, as we say, it's a litmus test, progressive litmus test. So from our conditions now, we can find out where we belong. Of course, many of us are beginners here. Kanishta. Kanishta is a word which is quite, severe in Sanskrit. But, we can use the word beginner. Okay, we are beginners on the path of Bhakti Yoga. The Madhyam Adhikari, the intermediate, and the Uttama advanced is given. Bhagavatam, as we can see, describes, who is a Kanishta, who's, in the beginning, when we start, we also think, okay, I know some slokas, I know this, so we become puffed up. That is the sign of a Kanishta Adhikari. But then, as in when we progress, we can see, actually, no. The Lord is loving us, the devotees are loving us, so I should offer the same love to the Lord. I should offer the same love to a sincere friend. I should, and then we become friend to the devotees. We actually show mercy to ignorant people who are innocent, and people who are envious, we just ignore them. So this is the quality of a Madhyamadhikari. So this way, in the chart yesterday we posted, you could see that the scriptures give us various features of our stages of bhakti. And we also know that in Vishwanath Chakravarti has given us the 14 steps to see God. And the 9 stages of bhakti are covered by that. We won't go into detail with that because it has been covered elsewhere. But today we are going to see our qualification to hear. And as we briefly touched yesterday, that Prabhupada has told us to approach Bhagavatam in a sequential manner. So we study from Canto 1, 2, 3 and onwards like that. And then ultimately we go to Canto 9, where the intimate pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, in Mathura and in Dwarka are described. Jiva Goswami actually says very nicely that there are 9 limbs of devotional service, and among them hearing about the Lord comes first, right? Because without hearing, we definitely cannot know about the others. We cannot know about chanting, we cannot know about, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, like that. But he also explains that the process of chanting the holy names perfects all the other aspects of devotional practices. So hearing and chanting, they both go together. And then he also describes that the process of hearing, please hear very carefully, please hear very carefully, because the process of hearing is a function of the greater process of chanting. Yeah. Because ultimately, when we are chanting our daily rounds, Prabhupada says, try to hear yourself chant sincerely. Try to hear yourself chant sincerely. So hearing is the first thing we start with. then chanting is, of course, the greater purpose. And then it is described, we briefly touched on this in our japa workshop, which we held in Easter, that there are 5 essential elements. Now, this is very important, and we are going to touch on the second element of this one. The first element is that the basis of devotional service in practice, that is our Vaidhi Bhakti, is chanting the holy names. So whosoever is interested in beginning the process of devotional service, they must start chanting every day on beads. So basis of devotional service, the Vaidhi Bhakti is chanting the holy names. The second one is very important for us, and we're going to cover this a bit more in detail today as much as time permits. Devotees, actually, we may take up progressively, and that's why I said it's a progressive litmus test. More advanced practices when we become qualified. So we have to understand at what stage I am and become steady in that. And we'll touch on the steadiness a bit later on. And then see what is in there for me for the next stage. So we may take up progressively more advanced practices when we become qualified. That's the second essential. Third essential is the chanting comprises of japa, of course, and then all other forms of devotional service, all other forms of sankirtan. So, we have preaching, we have giving class, we have japa, we have sankirtan. So chanting is a part of that. Then fourth one is that we must practice these devotional service as much as possible in the association of like-minded devotees. So association is very important. Of course, we are now in our homes, but still we are connected together with the help of technology Mata. With the help of this, we are practicing our daily sadhana as much as possible in the company of like-minded devotees. So association is very important. And the fifth one is, of course, it is very high stage that when we come to the very late stage of ecstasy or, bhava and prema, then we can understand our original spiritual form. So this way, we understand the essentials of our devotional practice. Then we will see how, we progress as far as the qualification to hear and as far as qualification to progress also. So we heard the first one is chanting of the Mahamantra is the basis of our pure devotion. Because when we chant, the Lord reveals his potencies and then empowers us to go towards the higher stages of devotion. And this, please mind you, will depend upon the strength and the purity of our faith. Very important. Everything will depend on the strength and purity of our faith at that particular stage. So when we are in the initial stage of Shraddha, we have some semblance of faith, and then we come in association devotees, Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha, and then Bhajana Kriya. So then when we come in the association of devotees, yes, the devotees guide us, and the devotees show mercy on us like that. Two things can happen. One is, yes, because of our conditioning, we might not like too much of devotion, and then we might go away. I mean, when I say we, means general population. When you see in the temple, when people come, we in the Saturday feast, we have about 200 people. But then how many people are coming for our regular study programs? And how many people out of that are actually staying in the study programs and then establishing a loving relationship with the Lord? So everything depends on the strength and purity of the person's faith. The purer the heart, the deeper the absorption in Krishna consciousness. And the deeper the absorption, the easily accessible, the higher stages. So the faith is there, the heart is pure. The purer the heart, then we have more absorption in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes you see people when they come, immediately they take up to the path of Krishna consciousness. It doesn't take much time. And Prabhupada used to quote them as dry grass. When the spark of devotional service falls on them, immediately we take up. And some people take, years and years and years, decades sometimes. So this way, we can see that, yes, I'm at this particular stage and I want to progress from here. Prabhupada, he once said, he said, for all of us, Prabhupada said this for all of us, he said, I want to see that one disciple has understood Krishna's philosophy. Just one disciple. And of course, as we know, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also said that if I can make one pure devotee, my life will be successful. So Prabhupada says, I want to see that one disciple has understood Krishna's philosophy. So this is the way to go about it. We understand the 14 steps towards God. We understand that these the 9 steps, the 9 stages of devotional service are in correlation with those 14 steps. I have to now find out at which stage I am. And Vishwanath Chakravarti says that most of us are stuck on the long stage of anartha nivritti. So, my dear devotees and skeptics, as Sachinandan Maharaj says, that we must thoroughly introspect, do some introspection and see where I stand. And then, as Prabhupada says, that yes, Prabhupada in that he quotes, he quotes Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. He says, yesterday we touched upon that. Yatadam api siddhanam kaschid veti mam tattvataha. That in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that out of many people who are endeavoring to seek the truth, only some succeed. And only out of thousands of them, only very few succeed. So first of all, to become Siddha is a very difficult job. To Siddha means perfect. It's a very difficult job. And then Yatadam api siddhanam. And out of those Siddhas, to know Krishna is again very difficult. But Prabhupada then also says that Krishna's philosophy is a little difficult to understand, right? So sometimes the beginning, when you tell someone, how did you feel when you're chanting, or how did you feel when you're doing kirtan? Oh, it was so good. It was so easy. I could hear everything. I could, very nice. But Prabhupada actually says, if one understands so easily, that is not understanding. That is not understanding. It is easy to understand Krishna if you accept Krishna's words. Krishna says very easily, we recently discussed, Man manabhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So these are the 4 principles of devotional service, Krishna says. And Prabhupada says, yes, it is very easy if we take Krishna's words and follow it thoroughly. So in the beginning, we might find it easy, but then as we progress, it becomes very difficult. So what do we do? Krishna says, Sve sve adhikarya nishtha saguna parikirtitaha viprayasto doshasyad ubhayor esha nischayah. It's a very nice verse from the 11th canto. And this describes our pinpointing in our steadiness, in our devotional practice. So this verse says, steadiness in one's own position is declared to be actual piety. So whatever position we are in, we're chanting 1 round, 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 16 rounds, 16 rounds of good quality, whatever position we are in, we should be steady. So steadiness in one's own position is declared to be actual piety. So we should understand, okay, am I actually steady in what I'm doing, or am I fluctuating? Of course, as Viraj Prabhu pointed out recently, that we might go up and go down, go up and go down, and go up and go down, but the trajectory should be upwards. So when we are steady, the trajectory is always going to be upwards. What the gradient is depends again on our faith, again on our absorption in Krishna consciousness, and again on our realizing what I need to do to go up to the next stage. So this verse, Sve Sve Adhikarya Nishta, from the 11th canto, it says, steadiness in one's own position is declared to be actual piety, whereas deviation from one's own position is considered impiety. So deviation from one's own position is considered impiety. So this is the way Krishna describes how we conditioned souls can actually elevate ourselves to the love of Krishna by systematically following the Vedic prescriptions. And yesterday we discussed very briefly that whatever stage we are in, we have to be steady in our stage, and then also understand what is the next stage. And this, when we cross-reference with the Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttamadhikari table, then we can understand, yes, this is the next stage. Am I actually seeing the Lord only in the deity form, or I actually am seeing that the Lord is in the devotees also? Even with the devotee relationship, am I just being neutral to them, or do I want to become a sincere friend and serve them? Many times we serve in the movement for many, many years, but still we cannot get over our false ego and establish that real loving relationship with a devotee. Krishna has put us together. Krishna has put us together in a cauldron. Come, serve together, so that when you come to me in the spiritual world, you'll be able to serve me nicely. But here also, after practicing for some years, still our ego is there, and we cannot make sincere friends with devotees. No. So we have to understand that to come to Madhyamadhikari level, we have to become sincere friend to all the devotees of the Lord. Am I showing mercy to innocent person? Am I really trying my best to preach this Krishna consciousness to others? Or am I just, okay, because now I'm a devotee, I don't care about others. Others can do whatever they want. But no, this is the test we have to undergo. So, it is described that one aspect of irreligion, it's actually using the word irreligion, right, is to adopt spiritual practices more advanced than those for which we are qualified. So if sometimes you see people are showing their, their bhava or prema, we know the story of in I think San Francisco. Prabhupada was in New York at that time, and some Indians came to San Francisco temple, and they came in a group, and they were dressed like sadhus and all that. And when they were taking darshan of the Lord, they just started, rolling on the ground and, like crying and showing all the symptoms of ecstasy. And Brahmananda Prabhu was there, and Brahmananda Prabhu thought, wow, these guys are just amazing devotees, like they're almost on the bhava stage. But he still wanted to confirm with Prabhupada. So, he put up a call to Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada said, okay, if they come again and they show the similar symptoms of ecstasy, do one thing. Give one person a very big kick on their upper backside. So Brahmananda was very confused. He said, what, Prabhupada, these people are such advanced devotees, and you ask me to kick them? And Brahmananda Prabhu was a big person, big personality. So anyway, this is the order of spiritual master. So next day they came, and those people came again, took darshan, and started rolling on the ground. And as per the order of the spiritual master, Brahmananda Prabhu gave one person a big kick. And that person started, pain, writhing in pain. So much pain was there because Brahmananda is a big guy, and he gave a nice kick. And then Brahmananda realized that actually this was just a show, because Prabhupada had told him that if someone who is in actual ecstasy, they can only come out when they hear chanting of the Mahamantra or some wonderful verses, as King Pratap Rudra used to do when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go in ecstasy. So here it is said that one aspect of irreligion is to adopt practices, spiritual practices, more advanced than what we are at. Sometimes when we are not qualified, we still want to, do practices or preach to someone or give classes or whatever it is. Of course, giving class is not bad, but then we have to also understand what level I am at. But then on the other hand, the another aspect of religion is to actually neglect understanding the duties of a higher stage than one which we are steadily situated. So if you are steadily situated in, say, Shraddha or in Sadhu Sangha or in Bhajana Kriya, right? Then you should think, okay, I cannot neglect what is ahead of me. Many times you see, many times people are there in the movement, devotees are in the movement, and for many, many, many years, they're just at the same level. No. We have to become steady at whatever level we are. and then also understand that there is a higher stage for me. And when the stage is there, it's not like a black and white. It is like a spectrum. We can be at the lower end of Shraddha or at the higher end of Shraddha. We can be at the lower end of Sadhu Sangha, or we can be at the highest end of Sadhu Sangha, and so on. We can be at the lower end of Bhajana Kriya or at the highest end of Bhajana Kriya. So this way we can understand, even in Bhajana Kriya, can I go higher? Can I deepen my relationship with Krishna? Can I get more absorbed? So both things we have to understand, that we cannot artificially imitate the spiritual practice for which I'm not qualified. But at the same time, when I'm steady in my current practice, I must think of the higher stage, talk to the senior devotees, and see what I can do to go to the high stage. And then once we come there, of course, we know that each of these stages have got their own do's and don'ts, their own characteristics, right? So for example, someone who is in the stage of first, when they're looking for they have some Shraddha, then Shraddha, as we know, comes from the mercy of devotees. So first thing is, when we come in the association of devotees, we should start serving somehow or the other, right? And then once we have a little Shraddha, then service to devotees is there. And then what happens is, we take shelter of a devotee. And then when we have some faith, we must take shelter at the feet of the devotee, right? And then the next stage is, we have got the eagerness to chant, serve, and worship. So these are the stages. Now, of course, many of us are at that stage where we are chanting, we are serving, and we are worshipping. But then the next step is Shunvatam So Katha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana. So this stage actually cleanses the desires for all the material enjoyment. Yeah. Prabhupada writes in this purport here, he says, the Lord is more anxious to take us back into his kingdom than we can desire. Most of us, of course, do not have desire to go back to God, that we are all stuck here. But Krishna wants us to go back. And then Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Naishtiki Bhakti means Nishtha is there. This steadiness is there. And then when the steadiness is there, what happens when we are steady in our devotional life? Because again, you need to know, how do I know I'm steady or not steady? What happens here? So when you're steady in the depths of our Krishna consciousness, the material desires, almost all of them are destroyed. And even if the material desires are coming, they come and quickly go away. And the intensity and the regularity is not that much. And then slowly, when the steadiness is there, when Nishtha is there, our heart slowly goes into Shuddha Sattva. And then comes the stage of Ruchi, taste. Now taste comes, so we can understand that yes, now I do not like anything related to sense objects. I like only topics related to Krishna. We want to hear more and more about Krishna and hear less and less about sense enjoyment. So this way we can see that for us, not only the steadiness is required, but at the same time, looking at the next stage of bhakti is very much required, right? And each stages have got the distinguishing symptoms and the do's and don'ts. So like in the beginning, when we come, someone comes, first duty, of course, is to become steady in chanting, right? Then you follow the regulatory principles, then rendering some service, washing kitchen pots, washing bathrooms, making garlands, like that. And then when we are steady in these things for a year, then we can rise to the next stage of devotion and accept the Harinam initiation. So once we take the initiation, then of course, there's responsibility comes again with initiation. They can, once we take initiation, then we have to guide the newer devotees, give classes, and head up some of the departments in the temple, go for Sankirtan regularly. And, we should also then increase internally our qualities of goodness, cleanliness, austerity, tolerance. These are all the qualities of goodness. And when we do that, then slowly, our hearing of the topics of Krishna also change. In the beginning, we just hear Bhagavad Gita, who I am, who's Krishna, what is the relationship, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, like that. And then we come to Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we come to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Even in Bhagavatam, we of course start from Canto 1, as we see, understand the pastimes of Krishna's devotees, understand the importance of hearing, and then slowly we come to the intricate messages coming out of these pastimes. So this way, we not only look at our situation now, but also for the next stage to progress. So this is, I thought, is our progressive litmus test. Just to recap, we look at the chart of the Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama. We look at the 9 stages of bhakti, see where we are, and endeavor to progress to the next stage after being steady in our stage presently. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I apologize if this was a bit too technical for someone, but as Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila says that we should not do alas in understanding the siddhanta behind what we are doing. So it's a beautiful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think it's Adi Lila 2117, if anyone wants to refer that. Any questions, comments? I know I've gone over limit couple of minutes. Usually I try to finish on time, but today, because it was an important topic, I didn't want to leave it halfway. Any comments? Even appreciation is welcome. Please understand that. Devotees generally don't want praise, but if you heard some good class, we should glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Mataji?
Wonderful class, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
2 people spoke together, sorry.
Sorry, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yes, quite a deep class. I was thinking, how the verse is talking about Bhakti Yoga, and, in scriptures, when the way you presented class, there is a hidden meaning, like, how to read between the lines when you're reading scriptures.
How to read between the lines? Yes. So that will comes from practice. Realization will come. You study one verse of Bhagavad Gita today, and after 5 years of practice, the reading between the lines will change. We should not artificially do that. We can discuss with devotees, but we cannot. One time I was with Prahladanda Maharaj, who is a very pakka follower of the science. So when I mentioned to him that this devotee was saying this about this verse, he immediately says, "Where is the authority?" So we have to follow the authorities in the form of our books, which are given to us by Prabhupada. And if our reading between the lines is in sync with what is mentioned, then it's fine. So this will come by constant practice, and realization will come after that. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. It's we cannot have fast food here. It's a slowly cooked, nicely, marinated prasadam here. So we have to be very patient if you want to have good food.
Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you for a wonderful class. Just a little comment. You know how in the beginning you said that we are a neophyte in Bhakti Yoga. I was speaking to a friend yesterday, and something that we know came about, but was a good realization for me, was we are neophyte in the advanced stages of yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is the most advanced stage. So we are practicing the most advanced stage of yoga, and in that we are a neophyte. So that just gives us some sort of hope that we are on the right track doing something.
Thank you very much. That's a good lesson. I would also add one thing, that I would like to be a neophyte so that I don't get advanced. I don't get puffed up by understanding that I'm advanced in advanced process of Bhakti Yoga. I'm just saying that pride comes easily. So I want to be very careful.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's 7:05. May you have all a wonderful day. Krishna willing, we'll see you tomorrow at 6:30. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.